The President and First Lady are in England this morning, visiting with leaders there ahead of the 75th anniversary of D-Day. We have a preview of the upcoming remote area medical clinic coming to Hazard and some of the services they will offer. Plus, we are learning more about a data breach that could affect millions of customers of one medical testing company.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:33 on Tuesday, June the 4th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Well, yesterday was gorgeous, and today we're going to see much of the same, but it's not going to last the whole week. And Brandon's going to bring you that bad news. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, and I'm always the bearer of the bad news, but this morning I can tell you that it's chilly. I can tell you there's a touch of fog, and I can tell you it's going to be a beautiful day. But after that, all bets are off. Let's get into it this morning. We start with Pikeville Medical Center, and you can see over there a little fog, a little cloud cover as we head across the morning this morning. So we're going to continue to see that back to Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County. We can see there a little bit of clouds up that way this morning. No major issues for us there. No fog on the sensors, but we are seeing a little fog and patchy form across the region. 49 in Harlan. Everybody else in the low 50s this morning. A couple mid-50s trying to show up there. Logan and Jackson. Appcast this morning. Sunshine across the board. A few clouds at times. We'll see 82, actually 83 for a daytime high today. Right around 5 o'clock this afternoon. I'll have the rest of the forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon. Thank you, sir. Well, day one of President Trump's state visit to the UK was largely filled with pomp and pageantry. But today, the ceremonies give way to meetings with British Prime Minister Theresa May. And London is bracing for mass protests. Ian Lee reports from London's Trafalgar Square.
President Trump is getting the royal treatment in London. Day one of Mr. Trump's state visit to the UK ended with a lavish banquet at Buckingham Palace.
Mr. President, as we look to the future, I'm confident that our common values and shared interests will continue to unite us.
Queen Elizabeth toasted what she called the immensely important relationship between Washington and London. President Trump then responded in kind.
On behalf of all Americans, I offer a toast to the eternal friendship of our people, the vitality of our nations, and to the long-cherished and truly remarkable reign of Her Majesty, the Queen.
Last night's gala dinner marked the end of the ceremonial phase of this visit. Today, Mr. Trump gets down to business, meeting with Prime Minister Theresa May and other leaders. Officials are bracing for major protests in the city of London. The largest demonstration will be here in Trafalgar Square, less than half a mile from where the president will be. British police have spent weeks planning the security for the state visit.
But when we're talking about tens, probably hundreds of thousands of people protesting in London against this visit and against President Trump himself, then that does present new risks.
President Trump will spend another night in England before moving on to Ireland, where he'll stay at his own golf course. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Now this evening, the President and First Lady will host a dinner at the U.S. Ambassador's residence. Prince Charles and his wife Camilla will be the guests of honor. And as Congress returns to Washington this week, Democrats' calls for impeachment inquiry continue to grow. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was interrupted several times at the California Democratic Party's convention over the weekend with chance to impeach President Trump. The House Speaker has so far resisted calls to start proceedings, but the number 3 Democrat in the House, Congressman Jim Clyburn, says he believes the chamber is heading in that direction.
I think that the president will be impeached, or at least proceedings will begin in the House at some point, but just not right now.
Yes, exactly what I feel. I think we've already begun it. We've got all of these committees doing their work.
Now, President Trump pushed back against calls for impeachment before heading to London. Some congressional Republicans are calling on Democrats to either begin the inquiry or get back to work on other legislative priorities. So far, more than 50 House Democrats have publicly voiced their support for opening an impeachment inquiry of the president. A Washington judge shot down an attempt to block a border wall funding in other news by House Democrats. Earlier this year, the Democratic-led House joined a lawsuit challenging President Trump's national emergency declaration, which allowed him to move funds from appropriated accounts to wall construction. On Monday, Judge Trevor McFadden, a Trump appointee, said the House lacked standing to bring the challenge and that he does not believe the court should get involved in a fight between Congress and the president. Well, 100 years ago today, the Senate passed what would become the 19th Amendment, giving men and women equal voting rights. To celebrate, the Library of Congress has a new exhibition dubbed "Shall Not Be Denied: Women Fight for the Vote." The exhibit traces the movement from before 1848 until the 19th Amendment was ratified in 1920 and features handwritten letters, speeches, and scrapbooks created by American suffragists. A funeral was held Monday for former U.S. Senator Thad Cochran of Mississippi. Cochran died last week at the age of 81. The Republican represented Mississippi in the Senate for 45 years, making him the 10th longest serving senator in history. He was the first Republican in more than a century to win a statewide election in Mississippi. His cause of death has not been released. At least one person was injured in a shooting at a Los Angeles area mall. There was a huge police presence at the Delamo Fashion Center Mall in Torrance after the shooting. Reports of shots fired came in around 3 p.m. Monday. They found one man on the scene with a gunshot wound who was taken to the hospital in an unknown condition. Authorities say the person who fired the shots fled the mall. Police say they are looking for a 20 to 25-year-old man with a shaved head. One new program in Kentucky is helping law enforcement find violent offenders faster. It's an FBI database that uses more than DNA to connect people. This is the first database that is able to connect behaviors. The technology is being used for police who run across unusual cases and are able to plug them into the system and see if anything else matches the characteristics of the crime.
But what's important to us is that we seek justice for everyone, and we don't let one impediment stop us from seeking justice.
Now you can find out how it works and why it's taken so long for Kentucky to start using it on our website at WYMT.com. Well, Remote Area Medical, also known as RAM, sets up shop in Hazard later this week. Last year, volunteers offered free dental, medical, and vision services to hundreds. Macy Marie talked to organizers about getting ready for this event and how volunteers bring it all together.
Offering free dental, medical, and eye care to those in need.
Just such a great service for the area.
Larry Quillen is one of the event organizers of Remote Area Medical, or RAM, in Perry County. This is the second year RAM is coming to Hazard.
We're hoping for an even better turnout this year.
More than 400 patients showed up last year, all of their care possible because of hundreds of volunteers, like William Mace Baker.
By helping others, you come away with a sense of feeling better and doing a good deed and a good day's work.
Anyone can stop by and get free care at RAM, no questions asked.
You know, folks, even if they do have insurance, a lot of times they can't afford the medications, they can't afford the co-pays.
And for those and other reasons, many in Eastern Kentucky go years without basic health and dental care.
We know there's so many people that needs a lot of dental work, have gone for years without a new set of glasses.
These volunteers excited to give back in their own community.
Now again, that was Macy Marie. RAM takes place this Saturday and Sunday at East Perry Elementary. Doors open at 6 in the morning on Saturday and Sunday, but people can stop by as early as midnight on Saturday to get in line. In Virginia, Lee County to be exact, hospital authority officials there posted the announcement for an emergency meeting to be held later today. Jeff Mitchell, the attorney for the authorities, says the meeting was called to grant Ballad Health the authority to enter the building and start working on renovations and repairs to the facility. This work will be started before the final documents are finished. Lab testing Clinic Quest Diagnostics says the personal information of nearly 12 million customers was potentially compromised. Quest says that includes social security numbers and medical information, but not test results. The company says an unauthorized user gained access to a system used by a billing vendor. Quest says it cut ties with that vendor, and forensic experts are looking into the hack. It is still unclear which customers were affected. Well, it's 6:42 on this Tuesday. Let's send it on over to Brandon, who's ready to give us a rundown of what to expect as you head out the door.
That's right. Some patchy dense fog this morning in spots. You see a little bit over McKee as we head out the door this morning, but it's kind of lessened up a little bit. Whitesburg still fogged in this morning, so be careful if you're heading that way. Again, just take it easy this morning. A few clouds as well. We'll see those kind of ebb and flow throughout the morning going into the afternoon hours. Temperatures 49 in Harlan right now. We're looking at 50s across the rest of the area there, close to 40s. And there in Middlesboro, Jonesville, right there at 50 hanging out. A lot of folks right there in the low to mid 50s. The out the door forecast features temperatures that climb quickly with the sunshine. We'll see those, get to right around 83 this afternoon after that cool start. We'll see sunny skies. Enjoy it because today is it. After today, we see the possibilities for rain all the way through the rest of the 7-day forecast. Will?
All righty, Brandon. Thank you, sir. Well, we have stories that are trending on WIMT.com next. As always, thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. Later, more on how a group of students and professors from across the country came together in Knott County yesterday to bring a little more green to the area.